So I grew up in Lincoln, Nebraska. My senior year of high school was 1989. So I got done with high school and I just wasn't quite ready to go to the university there. My father was a professor at the university, so it was kind of expected that's where I would go, but I wasn't ready. And on a whim, I walked into a recruiting station and the Air Force guy was at lunch, the Marine Corps guy was at lunch, and the Army guy was at his desk. And that's how I ended up in the Army. And I basically signed up, took the ASFAB, and they said, hey, what would you like to be as an occupational specialist? I said, well, whatever leaves Monday. He said, you got it, son. I probably filled the quota for him. And as I'm in the airplane, I'm kind of thinking, I wonder what a food service specialist is. That's what they called it. And it kind of dawned on me, oh my gosh, I just signed up to be a cook. I don't know what's going on here, but that's how I ended up a cook in the Army. So I was with the supply unit, and so they put us, we were out in October, really, really early, of '90, and they put us way up on the Iraq border because they had enough intel to know that Iraq wasn't coming through, so they set supply units up. We were out in the middle of nowhere right there on the border, and then when the war kicked off, they kind of steamrolled through us, gathered stuff up, and kept going in. So I wasn't good at it. I wasn't a very good cook. I wasn't patient. I would burn things. So I'm like, oh gosh. And if you make a mistake, nobody eats. So I made a couple mistakes, and that doesn't make anybody happy because then they're eating MREs instead of actual food. So yeah, I wasn't very good at it, especially not baking. It wasn't long before I became the guy that would go put gas in the burners and go clean this and go clean that kind of thing. So I got everybody mad really good one time. So there's not a lot of treats out there. There's no BX. We had nothing. You had nothing out there. So we had cake, and I was in charge of making cake that day. And it's this huge sheet pan that you throw in. I don't know, 3 feet by 3 feet. And I don't know what I was thinking. The cake pan was maybe that full, and for some reason I filled it up to right about there. Any genius can figure out, well, a cake's going to rise when you cook it. So it rose and it went all over the burners and it got destroyed, and nobody can eat cake. And so the one thing that 100 guys are looking forward to was a piece of cake, and I destroyed it for them. So that one I never did recover from. After that, they put me more on like I said, the fill up the gas and stuff like that. But I had a few accidents with that as well. So overall, it's probably just a good, the fact that I made it back and I didn't kill anybody else and poison anybody with my cooking is probably a success. It sounds like I had a miserable time, and I was miserable a lot of the time, but I wouldn't, I would never do anything to take away that experience. I mean, it definitely changed me as a person. We all felt like we were in something together. You're living like 8, well, more than that, maybe 12 to a tent, all day long, every day. So you get on each other's nerves, but you also, everybody knows everybody else's problems, and it's just like you said, there's a camaraderie that that I don't know if I've ever had, since then. I'm glad I joined the military. I'd be proud if my son or daughter ever did. So I have no regrets of any of the experience, and I think I'm a better person because of it. Like I said, if I had it all over again, I kind of would hope that the Air Force guy's office was open because I really like the Air Force. But no, I wouldn't change a thing. Would not change a thing. Glad I did it.